What's up, Martian? Wait, Oh! Okay, mali. Where is it? Oh, there you go. Kamusta? Yep, same. Oh, wait. Wait. Nas... Oh no, malala. Okay.
What is this? It's not supposed to rain today. I checked. I don't want to be out here when it rains like that. Lightning? No. Not a storm. Can't see a damn thing. What am I going to do? Oh my god. I can't do this. Stop freaking out. Prepare for this, Riley.
Look around.
How do I get out of this mess? This is useless. Don't know where the
Whoa,
hell I am.
that's too fast. Yeah, just sensitivity.
No! I'm going to die! Can't be out here. Not on my own. There! Is that land? God, yes. Thank you! Oh, shit. This can't be happening. No. Not the
Uh-oh.
box!
No.
No! Damn it! This was a mistake. Get me out of here! Somebody!
What is this? What's she doing?
What is that sound?
Is that a human?
Wonka.
Focus, Riley. It's just the wind.
What's up, Banwy?
I have to moor.
More?
Somewhere.
Oh, I wouldn't do that.
Oh. Anybody there? Yeah, sure, why not?
Anybody there?
Wait.
Oh, yeah, sure, voice.
God. It's a voice.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you. Who are you?
What? I,
Wait. No. I don't want to know.
Can we move now?
Is that a pier? Yes! If I can get the boat close enough, I can do this.
No, we can't. We'll crash.
Leave me alone. Whoa! Come on, Riley. You've got this.
What are you doing? Cut the engine.
You've read the manual.
Manual? Have you ever sailed a boat before?
Stop it.
You have to turn off the engine.
Stop talking.
Stop talking. Gonna get us both killed.
I'm already dead.
Backseater, man.
Key. Cut the engine.
Oh, backseater ghost. Come on, bro.
All right. Well done. Now, drop the anchor.
Shut up.
Shut up!
Drop the anchor.
Okay,
Don't
fine.
want to hear it.
Drop the anchor and I'll be quiet.
Okay, fine.
Good. You did good. You'll be fine now.
I'm not fine.
I am not fine. You have to stop this.
Stop what?
Talking. You have to stop talking.
Understood. It's fine.
Thank you.
Okay, we're moving. What the heck?
What a mess. The window. I need to see the window.
Pork jerky. Oh, microwave? Damn. You have a dog? Where? Oh,
I ruined my boat. That looks so beautiful from here. You should go. I decide my own fate. I'm living my life. That was the plan after all. So yes, be a devil. Let's check our backpack. I've no desire to get stranded without food or water. Never leave without your music.
true.
It's soul food. Can't starve, right? Taking that with me. I am sketching the entire journey after all.
No, she didn't bring food.
Awesome. The beer made it through the storm.
Nice.
I can celebrate later.
I don't think we can run. No, we can go inside.
This damn relic must be broken, because that weather wasn't fair. Great. Out of coffee.
Oh. Oink oink. You'll be bacon for more. No. Can I bring
Why
this?
are these islands not on here? I read this book front to back. Pretty useless in a storm.
Tying up boats, a guide to nautical knots no sailor should be without, by Captain George Ferguson. $20,000? Bro.
Kind of wish
Oh,
you were here,
okay.
Marshall. Could have gone exploring together.
Damn straight I did. Back to square one, just me and Marshall. Friend or food. Don't believe the humane lie. Animals don't want to die. Stop the slaughter. Oh, PETA. Walk me to the sea, I want to see more. Setting my sails to billow in the warm breeze. Take me home over the horizon. There should be good now.
I'm doing it. Deciding my own fate. And will you look at all this? So beautiful out here. Wish you were here. Sunny greetings from... a far-off place.
The Rogue Islands.
You're still here.
You're still here.
Yeah.
Thank you for last night. I'm grateful and all.
But
You need to leave.
why?
Because you're not real.
But I am Riley.
I've decided you are not. And don't ever say my name. Ever again. You know what? Just shut up.
Shut up.
Almost as good as endless oceans. The edge of the world. I'd live here.
Really? No internet, man. No.
What happened here? Did they all honestly leave?
Have to adjust again. It's the same.
Can I speak to you now?
No. Maybe.
Maybe.
Wonderful. There's so much I want to ask you. So much I don't know yet. Or I've forgotten.
I said maybe.
I said maybe. Don't get carried away.
It's been way too long since I got to talk to anyone.
I understand that, but I will lose my mind if you don't.
Please, just talk to me.
That's it. I'm blocking you. No spam.
Blocking.
Spam. What's spam?
Food. Rose Hill.
I'm not sure I can deal with this. Am I imagining you? You can talk now.
You're not imagining me.
Dude, what the heck? The controls. Maybe I should use mouse. Now I'll use keyboard.
This place.
How do I choose?
This silence is piercing. What happened here?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Nothing.
Not a single thing.
That was a space bar. What is the controls? Ah. Okay.
You never told me your name.
Josh. My name's Josh.
What's up, Josh?
What a pretty little cottage. Right out of a country magazine. What do you know about it?
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Let's see.
Hmm.
Seriously? Piccalilli is as far as I go.
You'd eat it if you were here in the winter time.
Piccalilli, what is that? Pickled eggs? Raisin bread, no. Sauerkraut? Cabbage, salt. Oh, okay.
Roses. Why?
Bath salts, oils, desserts. I love roses.
What year?
No more
1980.
ferries after 1980.
No service. Halverstone Ferry Line will carry out the last ever sailing from the Rogue Islands to Lundberg on Monday, 29th September 1980. Oof. Margot.
Why did this Margot never open a letter?
Maybe she never knew it was here.
22nd September 1980, my dear Margot. I never write letters. I bought this stationery when I moved to the island, having every intention to write to friends left far behind. But this is the first piece I have ever used. My life was here. No letter would change that, and pictures were my talent, no words. The emotion in my subject's eyes, how could I use a sentence to capture that? Some things, though, must be told in words, and as you won't allow me to speak the words, I will buckle down and write them. I must go, even though I don't want to. How I hate to leave you, Margot, but time is not our friend, and time is becoming unkind to me. No amount of this fresh, salty air will fix that ache in my bones, so I must head to the mainland. I hope you'll forgive me. It seems unbelievable that you have only been on the Rogues for 3 years. I was never lonely before you came, but as soon as I saw you, I felt it. The love I never expected. I love you as a mother loves a daughter. Huh. That was the true blessing. You wouldn't let me close in those first days, so I had to wait, and it was worth it. But Margot, my sweet, I worry. You cannot continue as you are. Please, come find me on the mainland. There is one last ferry next week on the 29th September. Come to me. Let me help you. The islands will wait. They are always here. In case you don't take that last ferry, I am leaving you all my food, all my recipes. I know you love the raisin bread and all the knowledge to survive the Rogue Islands. You can make this life beautiful. You are young and alive. Even my photos cannot capture your true spirit. I hope you can conquer those demons and live your life as fully as I have. I want you to have no regrets. I'll miss you, Carrie.
Do you think it's them that lived here?
Maybe.
I'm here? Always. Oh. Snape.
Definitely the home of a photographer. She's beautiful. But she looks so sad.
Beloved. The boy. Okay. Wait.
Is that a cassette tape?
Whoa.
No way.
A what?
Oh, I want to hear this.
Testing. 1, 2. Well, hello to myself, I guess. Or dear diary, or however you're supposed to begin these things. Just if I don't talk to someone, I'll go insane, even if it's only myself. I guess I'll start at the beginning. The Rogues seemed like a good idea. A bunch of us were looking for a place to hang out, make music, and just, you know, be groovy together. And it was cool. So totally chill. But then the nightmare began. And I don't know if it was the drugs or me going crazy, but when the others left, it got worse. I'm glad she was here, Carrie, or I would have lost it completely. I miss her. I was so rotten to her. I just didn't want her to leave, you know. I understood she had to. I mean, she was sick, and I couldn't take care of her. She knew that. So she left me food, recipes. Not that I'll ever cook.
She remained behind.
Was she here all by herself?
Must have been.
What stuff?
So, what do you think about the cabin?
I don't know. I need to have an opinion.
Did you read the letter?
I did.
Why did Carrie write Margot a letter?
She felt guilty about leaving her.
How do you know that?
Because that's what she told Margot.
What are you saying?
I heard her say it. I was there.
You
What?
were hiding that from me?
I can't believe I forgot.
But now you remember?
Like she'd always been there. Somewhere in the back. And now she's taken a step forward. Into the light.
You knew Carrie.
I get the feeling you think this is important.
Yeah.
Did you see that date? 1980. You were alive in 1980.
Okay, never mind. Oh, we can run. Kinda.
I'm sorry I dropped in on you like that.
Yeah, you really made an entrance.
I know. I didn't plan it. And for what it's worth, I'm glad I did. I like talking with you.
Thank you, I guess.
You make me feel alive again.
Okay.
Oh, you talk a lot.
I haven't spoken to anyone in a very long
Oh,
time.
Mira. Oh, dude, this is so harsh.
I need silence. That's why I got on that boat. To get away.
Okay, that makes
Why?
sense.
Did something happen?
I wanted space. I don't like
I
people.
just don't like people.
I don't believe that for a second.
You are a lot to handle.
I need space. Let's go. Oh. Hi. Nice. Something so odd about seeing the remains of a dark room, as if looking at a negative. What remains when the image is taken away? She looks so lost. Did she want to be saved? That's a nice photo. To leave and know you can never come back. To never undo the choice you've made. I'm here always. Did she write that on that picture frame, or was he the one who made the promise? Always. That's a very long time. We can't always have the ones we love. How I want to be missed like that. To be as industrious as the occupant of this cabin was, to have planned for the long haul, I'm not sure my jerky will take me far. Mom made raisin bread too. I can still smell the fresh bread from the oven. I could never resist, and always got a piece when it was still too hot. Yeah, who's the boy? We have a tape. Okay.
I think I like it here. The rogues are magnificent. I've seen nothing like it. Is that a weird thing to say?
Not in my book. You've seen many islands.
Not really. I was going to, you know, before the storm, before you.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's okay, I guess.
It's fine. What?
Is this a letter?
In a tin can? What does it say?
Let's see.
23rd of May 1919.
1919.
My sweet little Elfins. I arrived on the island of Big Rogue 5 days ago. It's a lonely place, with bluffs along the sea. And it does feel a bit like your old father, faded and worn. I had no intention of remaining here. Figured I'd pass through and set out once again, but then I met the boy. He is alone, with no one else to talk to. And I can't quite put my finger on it, but there is something about him. Once I've figured out how I can help him, then, my dear sweets, I will hurry home. Keep the lamps lit, so I can find you. Soon we'll be together again. Your loving father.
Elfins. His children.
Why wasn't he with them?
The point is, why didn't he send the letter?
Yeah, just good point.
Josh.
Yes?
Oh, nothing. I was just saying your name out loud.
Why?
I wanted to know how that felt.
Do you think I'm
Do
losing
you
it?
think I'm losing it?
No, I don't.
Of course you'd
Of
say
course,
that.
yeah. How do we go down? Okay. Another cabin. Sweet cottage. I think we have to go inside first.
Addressed to Terence.
Then this was his home.
6th of May, 1880. Dear Terence, this week, aside from the usual 30 milk cookies from the school, I would love to order a surprise birthday cake or pie. Sweet Lucy turns 11 this Wednesday. Lucy has suffered these last few weeks, her father and brothers having left for the mainland. My heart breaks to see so many islanders depart. I wish they understood that if we work together, we can make these islands vibrant again. We need more people like you, Terence. People who understand the land's beauty and magic. The smell of your bread brings everyone hope and comfort. I know lemons have had scars, but Lucy would love a piece of your potato lemon cheesecake. Potato lemon cheesecake. She wrote a report about how she imagined the cake tasted. I am sure her imagination cannot compare to the real thing. If we cannot make that work, let us then opt for a sweet lamb pie. I know those pies are delicious. Forever grateful, Beatrice.
I love this. So dedicated.
He must have been an excellent cook.
I understand passion even though I've never really felt it myself. I can tell cooking was the love of his life. What was the cook's name? Terence. Tegami.
I'm sure I could make a mean pizza in here. Oh, I miss pizza.
What's pizza?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, I want pizza too.
Look at these shells.
There's so many.
Boats. All boats.
Not sure if there's anything here. It's going down. Okay. This one's a nice place.
Spending my days baking? I'd sign up for that.
You cook then?
No.
Actually, no. I make brilliant scrambled eggs, though. Also, I was told.
By who?
My mum. When I was 12.
Anyway.
We now know 2 people that lived here.
Yes, that's true. Carrie.
Terence.
And Baker.
That's right. There's bound to be more cottages around here. Cordelia. I don't like that name.
Halls of Ivy.
Another letter.
Why does he keep hiding them? He should have sent them.
Oh, wait.
"15th of February 1921. My dear little Elfins, the more I learn about the Crown family, the more I realize what wolves they were. As I've mentioned, the Crowns owned this island back in its heyday, but they were a haughty bunch and they took much more than they gave. But as I write these words cursing the Crown family, I realize that perhaps I am no better. True, I never owned an island, but like the Crowns, I didn't value life as I should. I don't think man is made to recover from war. Once he has seen such horrors, how can he pretend they don't exist? I miss you all dearly, and hope to find my way home to you soon. Your father."
Something's not right. I can't figure him out.
He knew about the crowns.
Wolves. They're not so bad.
They are if you're a sheep.
It's a freaking school.
Cordelia Crown. Haven't seen her in a while. She was nobility, and a big deal right here.
And that must be where the money came from.
Aye, they owned the Rogue Islands.
Wow. Owning an island. Walking the Rogues, the Trekking Society. Rogue Islands, the Big Rogue, Little Rogue, and the Dark Rogue. A guide for hikers. The Rogue Islands are one of the last unexplored mysteries of this world and a hiker's paradise. Trails traverse these rocky islands, allowing spectacular ocean views and opportunities to spot unique flora and fauna. Remains of the once thriving farming community peek out from behind the trees. Traveling through these islands requires know-how, grit, and a good map. This comprehensive guidebook will provide 2 of the 3. It is up to you.
I'd love to see the world.
You will.
What's that engraving there?
For Beatrice.
Book of the Sea. A detailed introduction to seamanship and nautical knowledge that covers everything from tying knots and mooring to charts with tidal streams. Where am I? And mathematical tables for astronavigation. Theory and illustrations are interspersed with fascinating stories of boatmen sailing the high seas. This book will bring the reader to recognize the craft and material needed for a safe navigation of these great waters. Hey! Fellow. Yeah. We got scammed, man. Wait. Julia, she must have been real pleased with herself. Another room. Legends. Oh, Will of Wisps. Where did I have heard of this before? On the Mysteries of the Rogues, Granther Willow's Lantern, or more familiarly, the Willow Wisp tends most often to reside in the vicinity of ponds and in the bogs or moors of our beautiful countryside. On occasion, a lone traveler has caught glimpses of these remarkable glowing lights in our catacombs, our graveyards, or even among our many ruins. The wisp prefers to haunt areas of lonely desolation. Huh. One will never spot its soft light on London's busy streets. However, should you in your country travels come across a will-o'-wisp, fear not. These fantastic creatures are benevolent and capricious in nature, or at least they are when spotted during daylight hours. Once the sun has set and the sky has darkened, beware, the will-o'-wisp may turn to more devilish pursuits. Tales tell of poor souls led to their rocky ends as they pursue the taunting glow. It is best to follow the advice of one elderly woman with whom I spoke. Only approach a will-o'-wisp when its hue is a soft blue, then the wisp is said to be at peace and will cause you no grief. The only fashion to... my blue. So, what the heck? Creepy.
And what do we have here? Beatrice Parker. Headmistress, I guess?
And this must have been her office.
No, never mind. Oh.
Yeah, that's them, all right. Cordelia Crown. And Nora Crown.
Rogue's Gazette. 1820. The Landing of the Crowns. When Peter Crown purchased our beloved islands this past winter, he sincerely reflected upon the management of his predecessors. Mr. Crown declared his desire to avoid past mistakes, ensuring better times ahead. Mr. Crown may refer to better times, but his true intention was better profits for the Crown family. Never once did he consider the islanders, their homes, their children's, or their future. The hopes we had let flutter were dashed upon our rocky shore. Rents remained too high, wages remained too low, and stomachs remained empty. Mr. Crown disappeared back to the mainland, and we continued to suffer. But now, with the unannounced arrival of Mrs. Cordelia Crown and her daughter Nora, the rogues may have finally begun a new chapter. Crown women sought relief from the hot mainland summer and found refuge at the lake by the lodge. Both have been spotted strolling around the island and visiting our folk. Nora has even made an appearance at music night and is expected to show at the summer prom. I would like to urge us all to be considerate but also to refrain from too much anticipation. History has proven to repeat itself. The crowned women may, like their predecessors, dig for gold at the expense of the fine folk who inhabit these islands. They may resurrect the fences about the lodge and keep us from our rightful lands, but it is difficult to prevent hope from once again fluttering in our hearts, and to think perchance Nora Crown will make all the difference. Music Festival. The second music festival of the summer season was celebrated Saturday last. The festivities began with a sermon preached by the Reverend Mr. Chester before a numerous audience. Hymns were then sung by the ladies' choir. Mr. Andrews, esteemed organist, accompanied the choir and played several solo pieces. Many of the Rogue Island's talented youth also lent their voices to the festival. After the music, an excellent supper was provided by the ladies of St. Mary's. Horses for sale. Mrs. Evanston begs leave to inform the public that in conjunction with her son-in-law, Fred Chrisman, she will be auctioning off 3 horses. Horses in question are fine beasts and have served the family well. The said auction will be held at the Evanston Farm, occurring August 10th, 10 o'clock. Oh. Will-o-wisps. Are tiny fairies or fairy lights or spirits. You can see them floating in the night sky. Some people say they are dangerous. They are really, really beautiful. They glow and shine. Sometimes travelers will see them and follow them instead of following a trail. They can follow them right off a cliff, or they can follow them into quicksand, or they can follow them and be eaten by a bear. Sometimes boats will see them and they will crash into rocks. Rebecca from the grocery store saw them, but she did not follow them. She was too smart. Some people do not believe Rebecca, but I know she really saw will-o-wisps. People also think will-o-wisps are bad. I can see why. If it leads you into quicksand, that is not being very nice. But I think will-o-wisps are really the spirits of people who are missing. Or maybe they are ghosts, but I think there were once people, and they are trying to talk to the people they miss. If we could understand the will-o-wisps, we would know they are trying to tell us they miss us and they want to come home. Pixie, I must say I am rather disappointed. I thought we'd decided fairy tales were not the subject of this essay. Your assignment was to choose an item from the environment of this island and to describe and analyze it scientifically. Imaginary spirits are not science. Sure. Where did we come from? That way. We go here.
Did you go to school there?
I can read and write, but I didn't learn it at the school. I vaguely remember a village, an open fire, the smell of beer, and a man's voice teaching me how to read from a really thick book.
Maybe one of the crowns?
Not a chance. They didn't do.
Oh,
Whoa!
God. What's that?
What?
Follow it.
That!
Oh, never mind. Ooh. Let's go. Hello?
Hello? Oh, God.
Riley?
I'm Riley.
You can't be.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Oh.
Why are you here?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't mean to be here.
I don't
It's an
understand.
accident.
I don't understand either. No, don't go!
It's daytime, it's fine.
Well, that was rude. Who was that?
Was that a ghost?
Have you seen her before? Do you know her?
Nope. Don't even remember her alive.
This is so strange. Maybe she's not from the islands.
Never knew there was another ghost.
Can I jump? I can't jump. Oh, this is nice.
Oh my God, Josh. I'm so jealous. Is this where you've been hanging
Sand
around?
end.
Well, it's an island. 3, actually. So, plenty of beaches to go around.
Well, I think it's absolutely gorgeous.
Sure, it's beautiful.
You sound like you don't know a good thing when you see it.
Well, I've seen it plenty of times.
It's breathtaking, wondrous, awe-inspiring, monumental.
Oh, cave!
You like words?
I love words.
Oh, there's so... okay. Beatrice Parker was a school teacher. Beatrice, something so lovely about that name. I wonder if I could learn more about her. Also, Ivy, I know enough about the world to know you should never trust bright lights that beckon you to follow them. But what do you do when one has taken refuge in your mind? I am Anton. The Crown family bought these islands, Cordelia, Peter, and their daughter Nora. They left the city on the mainland to come live in these wild lands. Though the lodge may not be as wild as what I've seen so far, where is the lodge? I don't know. Letter? Tagami? I can't jump.
This house. It means something.
Oh?
Ethel. She lost her entire family to the fever.
The tricks life plays on us. I'm sorry.
No. Baby.
Ugh. This is the freakiest doll I've ever seen.
Have a little respect. That is a beautiful doll.
Fanny. Dear Pixie, I'm so happy that you taught me to read and write. I am writing a book. It is a lot of fun. I love stories. I read it to Fanny and Louisa. I am a teacher too now. I teached father to write his name. He's really good. Thank you, Hannah. Fairies of Fire by Hannah Little. Once upon a time there was a fairy that lived on the island. Her wings were made of fire. They were so bright everybody could see them. One night a girl catched the fairy and put her in a jar. Because in the night it got very dark on the island, the fairy cried a lot. The tears filled the jar, so she was swimming in her tears. Whoa. What the heck? Kinda dark. I've never been one to believe in magic until now. Maybe fairies really could exist on these islands. Sandend, a sense of an ending. Ethel and Henry. What happened to them and how did they die?
I remember those Sundays in the summer. Music drifting on the air, blended with children's laughter.
Is this actually a football? It looks ancient.
What's this?
Back at the school you said you wanted to travel, and you sounded sad.
Silly.
Oh, it's silly, really.
I love silly.
I used to think I was going to dance around the world, on every continent, in every country. I'd go and hug the land wherever I wanted to go, and dance in honor of it.
I think that's cute. You don't think that anymore?
I'm all
Yeah.
grown up now, Josh.
Grow up, man.
You're not going to answer me?
I did, sort of. I shrugged.
Like your shoulders? I can't see your shoulders.
Why not? You're here with me. I mean, it's not like we're on the phone or anything.
It sort of feels like it sometimes.
I wish we were on the phone.
I could turn the whole
I could
on.
turn down the volume or text you.
The toxic.
Never mind.
Oh, I think
you're
it's the right way.
incredible.
No.
Don't be ridiculous.
How you handle this whole situation? It's pretty amazing.
I should be afraid, I guess. But I'm not. I guess I don't truly believe it's real yet. All of this. You.
That's so funny. Last time I heard that, I fell off my dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
Did you just make a joke? A terrible joke at that. This is hard. You try exploring an island with a roomie that won't shut up for a second.
I am, actually, and it's not even my room. You call all the shots, I just have to shut up and sit it out?
Yes.
Yes! Sorry. I realize it's not easy for either of us.
Oh yeah. It's a lighthouse. Small one.
Still amazes me. So many gorgeous little things that have been left here.
You should take whatever you like. Nobody's gonna need it anytime soon.
I can't do that. Those things have been here for so many years. Decades even. It's not mine to take.
Maybe you're meant to find them. Maybe the rogues want you here.
Right. They sent that storm.
No, that was just your terrible navigating skills.
Hey.
I'm going to pretend you didn't say that. That cottage. It was extremely well preserved. It must have been at least 19th century.
See? Rogues were waiting for you.
Still, I'm not taking anything from here. It just feels wrong.
Okay, bones. Where are we going next?
Wait, do you hear that?
No, what?
Why can't you hear it?
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
It's a little girl. Always creepy.
Oh, fuck. What's that?
Whoa! Heck. Little
Come on,
girl.
honey. I want to drink this tea while it's still hot.
Mom, did you know that Rebecca from the grocery store has seen a will-o-wisp?
Has she?
Have you ever seen one?
No. Cheese or haddock sandwich?
Cheese, please. Just maybe Daddy's turned into one. A will-o-wisp, I mean.
Now you know that's not true. Daddy left. I know it's hard, but we have to accept
Just
it.
maybe is all. I asked Miss Jessup about will-o-wisps, but she said they're poppycock. She said there are no such things as ghosts who drift along the marshes. And the sooner I let go of such romantic notions, the better.
Oh well, she might be right about that one.
Riley, what was that? Did you do that?
I'm not sure.
Now what? Go back down.
Was it real?
I saw them too, if that's what you mean.
Who are they?
I remember the little girl, Pixie,
Pixie.
always running around the islands looking for adventures, discovering new clues to grand mysteries. Her words, not mine.
That little girl. Dad abandoned her. You saw that, right?
I did.
Who does that?
I wish my dad had left.
Tell me about your dad.
He was a brute.
How so?
I don't remember much. Just as vile. He was horrible.
Oh, that's where we came from. Sketch? No. What the heck is that? Portal?
A graveyard. So many lives lost. All gone.
This is valuable information, though.
I know. We should take a look at these headstones. Nora Crown.
Doesn't that sound vaguely familiar to you?
It does. Her
The
name
kid.
was in that newspaper article we found back at the school.
Remember me, and I will love you forevermore. Ah. Cordelia.
Cordelia Crown. We know all about her.
+50.
Callum Compton.
Look at the date. 18th of June, 1833.
Same as Cordelia Crown. You think there's a connection?
It's possible.
Oh, wait, let's get more info.
Scruff.
Died in 1944. That's late.
Still have a dude here.
Dylan Sprouse.
A constable. Didn't know the islands had a police force.
Neither did I.
Softly at night, the stars are shining on you.
Ethel. She lived so much longer than her family. She was so strong. I don't know how she managed.
Look, it's Terence, the baker. He never left.
Oh,
Oh, I remember him. Bad news, that guy.
How so?
Smuggler, I think.
not included.
Archie, that sounds so sweet.
I have left the troubled ocean.
That doesn't sound so sweet.
And now lay down to sleep. No, this one's not included. This one?
Oh shit. It's Beatrice Parker from the school. That's so sad.
She was one who followed dreams, ships, and stars. I'm sorry.
This is about Beatrice, from the school, a cornerstone of this community.
Sunday, August 30, 1846. Mass preparation. In Mass, I must remember to announce the church picnic next week. Most importantly, I must especially remember to announce the opening of the Cordelia Crown Elementary School. I will talk to the organist about arranging for the children to sing a song in Miss Beatrice Parker's honor. Miss Parker has been of such service to our community. To think without Miss Beatrice Parker, so many of our children would be unable to read and write. Now we have our own school, and she can teach them all. Such a blessing. Letter. No.
Here's
Oh,
another one.
Let's play it. I like listening to her voice.
I am such a silly goose sometimes. Thought the evil spirit wouldn't follow me into a church. Shut up! Maybe I've seen too many movies. God,
Oh, I'm sorry.
If you're listening, this spirit is evil. Hear me? Evil. Yes, I'm talking about you. I hear him all the time. Sometimes I wish I had gone back with the others. At least I could have talked to a psychiatrist or something. Now it's just me and him. Stop! These people you talk about, they've been dead for so long. Why does it matter? I don't understand any of it. I don't care about Cordelia Crown or why she thought she needed to confess. I want a bit of peace in my head. Yes, you gave me Seabrook, but you want me to stay on that beach forever. But why? Yes, I'm listening. Father Thomas, yes. He's the one that taught you to read, I remember. So he was here when it all happened.
Was she talking to you?
Not as far as I know.
Father Thomas.
You think he knew me?
Could be,
Maybe
yeah.
he taught you how to read.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Never mind.
Who's it from?
Pixie.
The little girl?
I guess she grew up.
Dearly beloved friends, forever I will remember my mother as a young woman standing on the edge of the cliffs, her steely gaze set on the sea, watching for my father's return. With great heartache, she had to give up waiting, but she never lost her love for our islands. My family is tied to this place for eternity. You may remember my mother, Nora is the one you could always count on to care for your children, to wipe a fevered brow, to read you a letter. She was as good as and as kind as the day is long. I cannot express the depth of my loss, just as my mother would never heal from the loss of my father. I too now possess a permanent hole in my heart. Dearest mother, I hope you have found the peace I know you never found in this life, and I hope you are looking down and smiling upon your beloved islands. I love you always, your dearest daughter, Pixie.
Cordelia Crown. Oh,
What? What does it say? Did she come to the priest?
shh. Trying to read, Josh.
September 10, 1830. To my utter disbelief, Mrs. Cordelia Crown came to see me in the dead of night. I was awoken to a loud pounding on my door. There stood Mrs. Crown in quite a state. She demanded I listen to her confession and would hear nothing of my protestations about the lateness of the hour. The confession I was privy to was nothing short of remarkable. She could no longer carry the burden of the terrible secret, she said. But no gentle lady, as is Mrs. Crown, could ever have been responsible for any wrongdoing, much less the travesties of which she spoke. Alas, I fear she has succumbed to the fevers. I sincerely hope her deliriousness will disappear come morn.
Father Thomas.
February 16, 1873. I have been on the roads nearly all my life, and never have I seen the pews so empty. Alas, the grain prices have driven so many families from the islands. A few hearty souls remain, and I will continue to offer them respite from their struggles every Sunday. The church and I will continue to be a sanctuary for whomever is left. Father Thomas.
Cordelia Crown.
Died in 1833.
50.
You already knew that.
Gone but not forgotten. 'Tis hard to break the tender cord when love has bound the heart. 'Tis hard, so hard, to speak the words we must forever part. Dearest loved one, we must lay thee in the peaceful grave's embrace, but thy memory will be cherished till we see thy heavenly face. A remarkable lady, adored by many, she had purpose. I wish I'd known her, yet it's official, I'm losing it. When you start writing crap like that, you need a break, Riley. I know of holes in your heart when I lost my mom. I didn't know how I'd carry on. I miss you every day, Mom. Take me home. What act is so horrible you feel you need to go confess in the middle of the night?
I'm glad we're out of there.
You don't like churches?
I don't like graveyards especially. I keep thinking about what Pixie wrote.
I don't
So
remember what she
sorry.
wrote.
That irreparable loss. Have you ever felt it?
Not in my personal experience. Unless I've forgotten.
Nora felt it too. She never got over losing that guy. Tears up my heart. Why is it we can't get away from that pain? Nora. She's Pixie's mum.
Yep.
Are you frowning?
What? Why?
I can't tell if you're annoyed. I can't see your face.
I'm not
Why
annoyed.
frowning?
It's my head. You're talking at full volume here, and I can't turn you off. And don't say you're sorry.
I'm sorry.
They say that when you're still and you listen, you can hear your soul.
They do?
They do. Josh, are you my soul? Talking to me?
You don't think I'm real?
We've found no evidence of your existence here.
But I know things. Things you don't.
I'm being silly, I know.
Silliness is a virtue.
Really?
You should cherish it.
That's sweet. Thank you.
Pinewater Bay. Better? Better? Nope, nothing. Can we go to the boat? I think we can. Oh, sketch. Oh, we can. Nice.
Soldiers. Maybe the skipper was one of them.
don't know.
1913.
Not many islanders went to the First War.
Maybe he wasn't from the islands.
Perry Doyle Langdon.
He was a soldier.
Lewis Doyle.
Naval Forces Certificate of Identification, Port of Benton. Benton? Oh, wait.
He went to war.
The First War.
The horror he must have seen.
I remember that one lad.
Oh, really?
His pictures from the Second War.
So this Lewis Doyle was involved in both wars.
Even Samuel Foster, June 1941. We could not have made this journey without you. Love, Carrie. Yuan Lee Paxson, June 1940. I know you brought him much comfort before his service. Love, Carrie. Going to wars? I always picture him as an old man, yet here he is, as a young soldier. They look so different, both can't be true. Or maybe they can. I'll be old someday, hopefully. A hero, what comes back when you give? What did life bring him? A soldier in the First War, that's a long time ago.
Whoever owned that boat had military history, that's for sure.
I wonder, though. Why did he keep that picture from the Second War? Were there many soldiers on the islands?
They were farmers, really. But they left to go be soldiers.
Must have been so hard on the people they left behind.
Most families left soon after, to work in the factories on the mainland.
How did they get there? Think they went on that boat?
I know they did. He took them. Scruff! That's right! That's what we called him!
Oh, that's
You
Scruff.
know this man.
Perfectly! I even remember his face, his voice, his humming, his tobacco.
Oh my god, Josh! This is huge!
I know!
What was he like?
Warm, helpful, caring, always.
Josh,
Whoa.
it's happening again.
Sorry.
You never send them.
They're meant to live here with me, not go out into the world.
Letters are meant to be read.
That's him!
Maybe, my boy. And then again, maybe letters are just meant to be written. Huh?
I don't understand.
My gals, they're happier without me. No. They have lives, loves. I'm a sad old man who's seen more death than I care to share. And these hands, I killed with them. Can't wash that war away, no matter how many years at sea.
But those hands, they've also healed.
Healing doesn't make up for the taking of a life. There's no return from that.
Why write it all then?
I love my daughters. Think about them all the time. And I suppose I want to remind them and myself of all the good parts. There's no sense to it. But it works for me. They have a new family now, and I have you, no? Lord knows you need someone to take care of you. Let's go find a spot for this one, my boy.
What about 3 sisters?
3 sisters. Yes, that works beautifully.
Scruff. That was Scruff. Exactly like I remember him.
I didn't see you. You weren't there.
Yeah, he's
I
not
was
there.
already dead.
You were in his head too.
Creepy dude.
September 1939. My sweets, as you've probably heard, war has struck again. We humans never seem to learn from our mistakes. During the First War, I was a medic, and my mission was to save the boys. But there were so many I couldn't help. Sometimes I had to make a choice over who should live and who should die. I essentially killed one to save another. The smell of death, the bodies, the blood, the screams of agony. They never let you go. I wish I could imprint all that upon these young boys who are enlisting. Their lives are never going to be the same. I cannot make them see. Instead, they're filled with excitement for the adventures they believe are ahead. I know no way to help, so I take them. My boat and I deliver them to the front line. My friend Carrie told me the myth of Carol, the ferryman to the river Styx. I feel like I too am delivering these boys to the underworld. All I can offer is a safe passage, but I cannot save them. In these dark days, I don't know if I can save Josh either. My head is a swirl, and I'm no closer to having an answer. That boy is my heart, and I have to help him. I'm so sorry to have written such a grim letter. I only make it through these times knowing you are in the world, your loving father.
Ready or
Father.
not, he could have ended this.
He didn't have a choice.
No, he didn't. He should have faced his kids,
Oh, never
shared
mind.
his sorrow.
Forgot. Choto. Oh. Okay, it's done. Should be fine.
Do you know who this is?
Archibald O'Sullivan. We called him Archie. A gardener. At the lodge, I think. Murder.
Oh.
Here on the islands.
Oh my god. Josh, look!
What?
That's your name.
Wait, where? Monday, September 13, 1819. Black Bell murder. Tragedy struck at the Black Bell Tavern late Tuesday night when George Smith was brutally stabbed by an unknown assailant. George, aged 32, was rumored to be involved in smuggling activities, and the Black Bell has often been thought to be the smuggling hub. Witnesses deny such claims. George was just drinking too much and yelling at someone. And then there was a knife, said Josh. Upon questioning, he added, I could not see with whom George was fighting. The bell is not very well lit. Callum, who had also been at the scene, added, the Black Bell may attract some unsavory folk, but most of us are upstanding members of our community. I'm sure this will not happen again, and I hope they find who did this soon. This proclamation was met by agreement from all Black Bell patrons, who then raised a glass to George. Constable Sprouse says he has no current leads and the investigation will continue. Huh. It's the same. Yep.
These are beautiful pictures, but
Land's End.
why did he put them up here?
He must have found something there.
Why did he think that place was so important? What happened there?
Stillwater Cove.
Did you see
Obituary.
that date?
June 18th?
I'm sure I've seen it before.
Mr. Callum Compton, 35, dies. Big Rogue Island, June 18. Residents of Rogue Island mourn the passing of Mr. Callum Compton, who died today due to the lodge fire. Mr. Callum Compton was born on Dark Rogue Island and has remained there all his life. Mr. Compton is survived by his niece Pixie. Memorial service will be held at the church on Sunday, the 23rd of June.
A receipt for bottles.
That name Compton. We've seen it before.
In the graveyard.
Callum Compton.
Mr. Compton acknowledges the receipt of 12 bottles from Mr. Barlow on the 22nd of August, 1819. Whereupon the sale of said bottles, Mr. Compton will present Mr. Barlow with 10% of sale amount.
That's not Scruff's handwriting.
Where'd you get these notes? Is this about you?
12 January 1821. It appears I was right, and he has been smuggling contraband into the islands. What's more, it seems he has been doing this in the service of the crowns. Most islanders seem to know this for a fact, and yet do not seem to mind in the least. Even Constable Wilford turns a blind eye. In fact, I have been told I had better quit my inquiries if I want to keep my job as special constable, which puts me in an impossible situation.
Kerry was feeding him.
Let's say they fed each other. He'd go fishing or hunting boar.
It is the memento.
I know this picture.
Moments.
It was at that first cabin we found.
It is
Carries,
this
yes.
moment.
That's her.
And that's Scruff.
Thick as thieves, those two.
It is these moments of joy that make life extraordinary. Love, Carrie. The three kids.
Girl so much.
Then why didn't he go home? No label, no nothing. Was he making his own liquor?
No, they look older. At least 19th century?
Oof.
I really don't get why he buried his letters in these. His daughters probably thought he was dead.
And he liked it better like that.
He never finished this one. Must have died suddenly.
From a broken heart. Literally. His heart failed. Still, he refused to leave me.
I'm sorry.
My dearest Alice, Emily, and Jane. I saw a young porpoise today. He leaped through the waves with such joy, such freedom. And I thought of you, my daughters. And I remember the days before I left. I remember the joy of your tiny fingers wrapped around my own. I remember your wild curls flying as I chased you. I remembered your squeals of laughter, such laughter. Of course, you are now grown women. Maybe you even have children of your own. But for me, you remain those small girls with that same wild spirit, like that young porpoise dancing in the water. So the porpoise when I was out on the boat with my friend Josh. We've spoken of him in my other letters. We were sailing to the isle known as the Dark Rogue. It is a beautiful and rugged place. I wish you could see it. Josh tells me it was a deadly place back in his days, yet they couldn't keep him away. A lot of trouble went down at the Black Bell. Callum, who is he? What was he doing at the Bell? Why was Josh there? Why was he involved in the murder? Scruff was conducting his own investigation and he had someone else's notes. Where did he get them? That fire at the lodge? I don't think that was an accident. You always have a choice. He chose not to go back with his daughters. He chose Josh instead.
Everything in there.
Oh.
It's as if he was conducting his own investigation.
You mean I've been through this before?
I think Scruff was looking for you in the history of these islands, yeah.
Why am I still here then?
Maybe he died before he could finish it? Callum Compton. He died in that fire at the lodge.
I think.
You think I was involved?
I don't know.
I didn't say that.
I didn't kill anyone, Riley.
Bro, chill.
You can't actually know that, Josh. You keep saying you don't remember your life. Maybe you've forgotten for a reason.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
You have to.
We have to sooner or later. So, Scruff lived here mid-20th century. And he investigated your death.
My death? I don't like it when you say it out loud like that.
I know this isn't an easy topic for you. We have to think about what that means.
It means that not everything I remember happened when I was alive.
And that there may have been others that you could talk with.
We should find them.
Go down here, no. Don't see anything. Oh, big house. Kind of big house.
Josh?
Oh, nice place.
I don't like it, but, I'm actually glad I met you.
Oh, all right. I think you just made me blush. Whose journal is this?
Nora.
That's Pixie's mother.
Yeah, the woman from the picnic.
And from the eulogy in the priest's notebook. Remember?
June 25th, 1833. How does one begin? We buried Mother and Callum today. A heavy day with more loss than one can hold. And yet the sun continues to shine. Despite being the month of June, I thought of Coleridge's words. Come, come thou bleak December wind, and blow the dry leaves from the tree. That refrain repeated itself to the rhythm of my beating heart as we lay Cordelia crowned to rest. She and I had our differences and our woes, but her love and devotion to Pixie were not to be denied. I held the girl close as she wept. So much loss in one so small, but we survive. It is all we know how to do. Of course, the question of why Callum and my mother were together at the lodge remains. What business did they share? One may never know the truth, but certainly one can ruminate. Mysteries keep the dead from being dead. They remain alive as we desperately try to know their secrets. But I hear Pixie, and I must go comfort my sweet girl, Nora. Gone but not forgotten. I think I read this before. Tragic lodge fire 2 dead. The Tuesday's quiet summer night was interrupted by a tragic fire at the lodge. The bells rang as the large manor went up in flames. The Rogue Islands lost 2 of its beloved citizens, Mrs. Cordelia Crown and Mr. Callum Compton. Constable Sprouse says foul play may be at work, but further investigation is necessary. Mrs. Cordelia Crown and Mr. Callum Compton appeared to have been together in the upper drawing room when the fire erupted. Constable Sprouse refused to say if Mr. Callum Compton's long-suspected dealing with the smugglers' gang was related to his investigation. Firefighters battled the flames until the wee hours of the morning. The majestic lodge will no longer brighten our shores, as its upper floors were heavily damaged, and Mrs. Cordelia Crown, a true benefactress for the Rogue Islands, will be greatly missed by all its citizens. Memorial service for Mrs. Cordelia Crown will be held this morning, Sunday, 23rd of June. It's the same.
Is that hair?
Yes,
Nana.
to remember the deceased.
She was married.
Always. My love.
That sounds nice. I'd like that. Always.
Snape.
Coleridge. His words get me every time.
Coleridge.
I wandered lonely as a cloud.
That floats on high o'er vales and hills. That's Wordsworth.
I like him better.
Isn't this the picture?
I remember Nora on that beach, with her daughter Pixie.
It was their home.
What are you thinking?
It's so weird that you're in my head, but you can't know what I'm thinking.
Hmm.
You should be glad.
True.
So, what's on your mind?
Nora, she was married. Yet she's always alone. There's no trace of her husband.
We already knew that, didn't we? She said as much in the picnic.
Right, but that's not the point. Always.
What?
The words engraved in her wedding ring.
Bro.
Such lies. If you say you love someone, you have to mean it, or you don't say it at all.
Don't be mad at me. I didn't marry her.
Better not said you have loved her.
You better not have said you loved her either.
I didn't. Trust me.
Hang on.
What?
Pixie. She's Nora's daughter. And Cordelia Crown is Nora's mother.
Yeah?
So Pixie,
She's the granddaughter of Cordelia Crown.
the girl's a crown.
Three sisters. Australia? Wait.
I love you, Tig. You know that. You and me, we're both fighters. So you're gonna have to be strong without me. You're gonna have to keep watch. Make sure no one enters this beach without me knowing about it, okay? Might be Daddy. And I might not be here. And I can't miss him. I can't not talk to him, or he might leave again. But if I tell him I love him, if I tell him I'm sorry, then he'll stay. I know he will. Okay, Tig? I'll be back before nightfall, so you're not alone. I know you're scared of the dark.
A sketch? Sure.
Is this a backpack?
Shoulder bag, used specifically when hiking.
Looks like she did a lot of that. I used to draw maps like these, of imaginary worlds with fairies and mermaids.
Why did you stop?
I had to grow up.
True.
Oh, I love this. I wish I had a necklace like that.
Maybe someday. When you're all grown up.
Oh, this is interesting.
She really did picture herself as a true detective.
14 September 1831. Went to Little Rogue again today. How I love walking along the shore. I found 3 perfect shells, but this time I was there on business. Interview with Mr. Cogswell. I wanted to talk to Mr. Cogswell alone, so he came to meet me at Little Rogue, near Land's End, where no one could see us. He promises not to tell Mother I came unsupervised. Notes taken during my conversation. According to Mr. Cogswell, my father loved the islands and my mother, but I am unsure if he is saying this just to make me feel better. He says he does not know why my father left, but he hints that maybe my father was involved in something he shouldn't have been. He refused to say more. I will need to investigate further, maybe a trip to Dark Rogue. There are stories of old pirates and smuggler gangs. He also says my uncle knew my father for better than anyone. I don't understand why Uncle Colum won't talk about my father then. Is he sad? Or does he know more than he likes to say? Tomorrow I am off to Dark Rogue. I don't care what Uncle Callum says. If the Dark Rogue is no place for a lady, he should not have given me the pixie dust. I am a detective and there has to be a clue there, so I must go. I only need to be sure nobody sees me set sail or they'll tell Mom or Nana.
What was she looking for? Josh, it's Tig.
She loved that stuffed animal so much.
I had a soft dog like that. I would hug it every night, needing its little head on my chest to fall asleep. I still have it on my boat.
Escape?
She reminds me of you.
She's nothing like me.
First of July 1941. My sweet Elfins. Today I found a letter from a young girl called Pixie, whose father left the islands many years ago. She is filled with longing and searches for him continuously. How her story broke my heart. Have I caused you, my daughters, such immense sorrow? Am I the cause for tears? I too sailed away and left you behind. Know that leaving you was the hardest thing I've ever done. Know that my love for you is the one thing that keeps me strong. There's nothing I can say to make it right. I just hope you forgive me. And in truth, I hope you've forgotten me, so that I do not bring you such sorrow. Your loving father.
I don't believe this guy.
He's a man with regrets.
Unable to fix his mistakes. You like him?
I get him.
No regrets. Oh. Go up.
I just don't understand why she kept looking for her dad.
Because she believed in him. Isn't there anything you ever believed in? With your whole heart?
I believed in Santa Claus, and he never came after my mom died. Oh my god, it's her!
Yo.
Why are you here?
Well, hello to you too.
I saw you leaping about on the beach. Why?
You've been watching me. How's that working out for you?
You don't carry any sleeping bags or bedrolls. You're not prepared for this. What are you plotting?
I see. You expect answers. Let me ask you a question instead. Who are you?
Why, Beatrice Parker.
Oh.
But you're dead.
That's some investigative skills you've got there.
Look, I don't know the right or wrong of this, but I need to figure out how I can help this ghost that's stuck here. And maybe, just maybe, you can help me. Or a ghost yourself, also stuck.
I don't see a ghost.
He's not here.
Are you denying the words you just said?
He's in my head.
So you're imagining him.
Okay, stop. Can you help me help him?
Pixie?
I'd like to know about a girl named Pixie.
She's dead, honey.
I know that. It's about the Crown family. I want to know about them.
But if it's their home you're looking for, you should try the Lodge on Little Rogue.
Thank you.
One word of advice. Don't trust that ghost of yours. I
Okay.
used to know everybody here. And I've never heard of him. Goodbye.
Bye. It's going down. I can go here first. Is it open? No, I think we have to circle around.
Well, at least this time she said goodbye.
She's not making much sense, is she?
Yeah, like, why shouldn't I trust you? I didn't even tell her your name. She can't know you.
She must really not like me.
Why is that? Did you do something to her?
You don't believe her, right?
Of course I don't. It's just that I don't know a whole lot about you.
You do!
I only know what you tell me. There's hardly anything about you on this island. Let's just keep going and see what's on Little Rogue. We have yet to find you.
28th of October 1942. My dear little Elfins. Some days I wish I had died in the war. I wish I could just put the past away, but it haunts me. Carrie hates it when I talk like that. But I feel like I'm a broken record, saying and doing the same things over and over again. If only I could lift the needle and play a different tune. I'd love to dance to the song where I was home with you and never set out for war to begin with. I'm tired and want to leave here and finally come home. I keep trying to help Josh, but there are no answers. Nothing makes sense. None of it. I wish I'd never gone to the lodge. I must make this one short. I promised Carrie I would be by for dinner. I don't know why she puts up with me, but I'd be lost without her. Love you, and wish I could see your faces once again. Your father.
Been to the lodge.
And you want to go too?
Yes, to go see what he saw. If you stop and think for a minute, you'd see it makes sense.
Okay.
Callum Compton.
I remember him. He was up on Scruff's investigation wall.
Country code. Yesterday I apprehended Mr. Compton for illegal distillation of high-proof spirits. However, before this arrest, Mr. Compton's distilling apparatus caught fire and the small shack used for said illicit activity was burnt to ashes. Penalty: Mr. Compton was tried but let off with merely a warning on the grounds that there was no liquor in evidence to support the seriousness of the charge. Sure. Legal poaching. The accused was found guilty of legal poaching attempts on the premises of the Griffiths family. Penalty on Mrs. Griffith's request. Mr. Compton was released without charges on his promise to cease any future poaching attempts in the area. Mrs. Griffiths was willing to show mercy in honor of Mr. Compton's mother and her friend who died while out poaching for her sons. What? Bar fight. The accused was found guilty of picking a fight with the victim over a game of dice. During the game, Mr. Compton accused Mr. Clinch Jr. of cheating. However, no evidence was found that Mr. Clinch Jr. had indulged in any cheating, as his father, Mr. Henry Clinch Sr., stood witness to the entire game. According to said father, it was Mr. Compton himself who cheated once. Mr. Compton knew there was no way for him to win the game. Mr. Clinch Sr.'s testimony was backed up by Mr. Thaddeus Cook, owner of the Black Bell. Compton was sentenced to 2 weeks of gardening in service of the Clinch family. That's should be fine.
More of these bottles.
Contraband. We were all distilling it.
Liquor?
Whiskey.
Oh.
Josh, look. Pages have been torn out.
Scruff.
Yeah. This is where we got those notes from.
From Constable Sprouse.
Dylan Sprouse, 18 September 1818, as Constable Wilford has shown no interest in opening an investigation into smuggling activities. I have taken it upon myself to do so. My suspicions began when I saw the same bottle types appear. These bottles are from no shop located upon the Rogues. The contents of said bottles were always the same, high alcohol liquor, supposedly imported legally from the mainland, but I have failed to find any proof thereof. My first intent is to find the location of import into these islands. Not many valid options exist due to the many underwater rock formations prohibiting the approach of vessels. The docks are one possibility, though it would be too easy to spot the contraband. Another option could be the peninsula off the Dark Rogue, though the entirety of that peninsula is surrounded by razor-sharp rocks sticking out of the bay, making any approach of large vessels suicide. There is also a small passageway leading deeper into the island, but it is far too cramped to allow access to a smuggling vessel. 29 October 1818, time finally allowed me a visit to Dark Rogue. I conversed with Thaddeus Cook, owner of the Dark Rogue's only tavern, the Black Bell. Although Mr. Cook denied any involvement in any such activities, I couldn't help but notice something off in his demeanor. For a man being interrogated by the law, he struck me as overconfident, even cocky.
Is this Archie?
Archibald O'Sullivan, yeah. I didn't know he had a record.
He was a criminal.
I wouldn't say that.
Mrs. Bethelbert reported she witnessed Mr. O'Sullivan stumbling about Stillwater Cove in a seriously inebriated state. She reported as much to me more out of worry than anger. She insisted I mentioned this in my report when I went out to search for Mr. O'Sullivan. He lay passed out in his boat. Was released without charges. Mr. O'Sullivan was thrown out of the Black Bell today as he had become overly intoxicated and started harassing the clients. He denied access to Black Bell indefinitely. I received the body of the deceased into my presence. The deceased was 58 years of age. Cause of death was determined as death by intoxication. The deceased was found drifting near his boat in Stillwater Cove. There were no signs of struggle. Oh no. A fire consumed the lodge, the Crown's family estate, located on Little Rogue. 2 persons perished in the fire, Mrs. Cordelia Crown and Mr. Callum Compton. Both bodies were found in the upper drawing room. It is unclear what business Mr. Compton had. Wait, I know this. I read that, I think.
What happened to the sea?
It's low tide, if that's what you mean.
If only that constable was still around. He could give me a second opinion on your trustworthiness. I'm sure he had a file on you too.
We're back here. Oh.
Thank you. Josh, is it?
Yes, Miss Crine.
You grew up here? On the islands?
Oh, yes, Miss Crine. We've been here for generations.
That sounds lovely. I think the islands are the most beautiful place I've ever seen.
Me too. Of course, I've seen nowhere else. But in truth, I've never wanted to.
Oh, there is a blessing in this gentle breeze that blows from the green fields and from the clouds.
You've a way with words, Miss Crine.
Oh, Wordsworth definitely does. He goes on, and from the sky, it beats against my
Better
cheek.
be careful, Miss Crine. These waves have a mind of their own.
Yes. I feel Wordsworth today. It's as if the sky itself is aware of how happy this place makes me. I can see why you remain here, Josh.
I don't believe this.
That was me.
You were right there. In front of me.
With Nora. I didn't remember her, Riley. And now just like that.
I think you took her to Little Rogue.
We need to set sail for Little Rogue.
All set for Little Rogue?
Let's get this show on the road.
Oh. What the heck? Okay, nothing new.
Now, where's the lodge?
Patience, my dear.
Don't do that. It's so annoying.
What are you, 10?
My name is Riley. Call me by my name.
Let's go, Riley. Up.
Damn.
Don't worry. Cordelia kept a spare key somewhere.
We'll find it.
Archie's. I like it here. This is the perfect place for a beer. Or a bloody smoke.
Oh, true.
Of course, I no longer have either. I can barely remember what they taste like. Gosh, a drink of any kind would be heaven right now.
Tomorrow's Friday.
It'll make my brain stop for just like a minute. Make me feel normal, because you never shut it. Thank you. I should go back to the lodge. Go through those ledgers again. There's got to be something in there. That tart Cordelia. She was hiding something. Ah, so much for shutting it. No, I don't like her, and neither did you. Are you sure she doesn't have some brandy hidden away? Or some of that whiskey you keep talking about? Oh, that's a good idea. Thanks.
Is there anyone who does like Cordelia Crown?
You don't say. But the point is that this was Archie's place.
The gardener.
Such bizarre little creatures. I don't know if I'm charmed or appalled. I think I expected something else entirely. More ornate walkways, lavish galleries or something.
Oh, they had those. Up there. This mud and rock down here was just for us.
For the servants, you mean?
I'm not a servant, but yes. To remind us of our place.
Wait. Oh no, I have to go up.
Is this here where you lived? Little Rogue?
It feels familiar, but it wasn't my home. This place gives me the chills.
I think it's pretty.
You always say that.
I do not. Didn't really care for that Lindenbury's place.
Now you're just lying. You said...
Who cares, Josh? Just enjoy the pretty beach.
No. There's a strange
No.
vibration here that I don't care for.
I can get up.
Is that Beatrice there?
What is she doing here? Let's go talk to her.
I have to admit she frightens me a little too. It's like she doesn't feel anything. Always glowering over us like that.
She's just rock hard, is all. Sometimes you need to be. Beatrice?
Oh, hello, Riley. That is your name, if I remember correctly.
Yes, that's my name.
Did you get rid of that ghost of yours yet?
We're working on it.
So very hard.
Shh, not now. Talking to Beatrice.
I see you found your way to Little Rogue.
Yes, I really want to find the lodge.
That's very clever. You will find answers there.
Can I ask you something personal?
By all means.
Why do you not trust my ghost?
I cannot see him. I cannot sense him. That is unusual. And it feels wrong.
Should I be afraid?
Riley!
Am I in danger?
That is for you to decide. I will tell you that it is you that will need to make him leave. It's the only way.
How can you be so sure?
Because I never wanted to leave either. I used to come to this very same beach. With my father, I think. I'd play here while he'd go up and talk to Archie. I don't know what they talked about. But they'd be up there for hours if they'd stocked up on enough whiskey. I have lost so many. I still miss the ones I loved most. And the ones that hurt me the worst. I cannot leave them.
You're the last one, Beatrice.
I know that. They've all been gone for so long. I forgot their names.
And yet, you do not want to go.
I do not. You never know. They might come back. You may leave me now. I will find you again.
Okay.
And she's gone.
Sounds like a threat.
Why does she keep doing that?
How do we, Oh, there.
Hey, diary. Today is not a good day. It's a sad day. There's so much death here. And so many tears. I can feel them all. Josh told me about this cave. A legend. About Selkies coming on shore and hiding their skins here. Then they dance on the beach over there. I've done that. I love dancing, especially on the beach, or at the fun tree. How I wish I could put on my sealskin and glide into the ocean. Sink beneath the waves and let the cold salt water wash away his voice. And that sadness. Such sadness. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Josh, please. Just let me go. Just let me go.
Oh, Monka.
I don't know what to...
And don't say anything.
Selkies.
They seem to be dancing.
They are. They came to these shores when the moon was full and bright, to dance in their human form. They hid their skin carefully in case anyone would find it.
I take the skin any day. A ticket to endless oceans.
Oh. It's Josh.
Please stay.
You may want to come down from that tree, Miss Crown. It's unsafe.
Oh, but this is a solid branch. Why don't you come see for yourself? It's a new world from here.
Miss Crown,
Yes,
I'm glad you stayed.
that's awfully nice of you to say so. And I'm glad too.
That's what I was trying to do. See the world differently.
I know. I'm sorry I wrecked your dream.
There's something going on here. Did you have an affair with her?
What? No. Why do you keep asking such insane questions?
I don't know.
You seemed comfortable around each other.
That doesn't mean anything. I was comfortable around Scruff. I'm comfortable around here.
You weren't a ghost when you were with Nora. I'm unsure what our next move might be.
We're heading for the big house, right?
Yes, but what's the deal with Archie?
Archie has a deal?
Did you hear anything Beatrice said? He was friends with her father.
That's right. They shared their whiskey on that little patio.
And don't you think it's strange that she's still hovering around here?
So am I.
Yes, and we're trying to fix that.
You want to explore why she's stuck?
I do.
You can't save us all, dear.
Maybe I'm just trying to save myself. So, this is Nora's house.
Oh.
Her mother's.
Cordelia Crown.
But that's her window, up there. I remember her climbing out to go down to her tree.
Okay, wait. Give me like 5 minutes.
entrance.
The only one Cordelia ever used. And she made very sure no servant ever did.
10th of November 1943. My sweet little Elfins. I'm sitting on old Cordelia Crown's porch, or what's left of it. She's been dead for a century now. Still, she makes me so mad. I wish I could yell, kick, and scream. The Crowns were so corrupt, and Cordelia Crown took her family for granted. She treated them so shabbily. But I suppose I treat you girls the same, don't I? I didn't value you enough to come home. I tell myself that I can't. That I'm afraid to see your shiny faces. That I have too much blood on my hands. But what if it's a lie? What if I am just like Cordelia Crown? Carrie hates such talk. She tells me I'm too hard on myself. That we all survive and do the best we can. But I don't know. When you make mistakes, you must pay your debts. And I can never make up for all my sins. But I did some good once upon a time. I helped create you. Oh, I've gone down the morose path again, didn't I? I shall sign off and leave you to happier thoughts. Your loving father.
He knew what she did.
We've got to pull our weight. Figure it out for ourselves.
Oh.
A spare key.
To the boathouse. Told you.
Dad.
She wrote to him.
But he wasn't here anymore. He chose not to be with her.
Dear Daddy, people say you are not coming home, but I do not believe them. Mom says we have to accept it, that you are gone. But every day she is on the cliff looking for you. I have put Tig on watch. He watches the shore while I am with Miss Jessup, so we do not miss you. Tig and I watch for you every day and every night. I do not know why you had to leave. I am afraid you left because of me. Mom says it ain't so, but I think it was me. If you come home, I will be the very bestest girl in the world. Mom pretends she is happy, but I know she is sad for you. Daddy, please come home. I could read to you and I could show you all the things I have found on our island. Dick and I will be waiting on the shore, Daddy. I miss you very much. Love, Pixie.
That's her parents?
The wedding.
But she wasn't even born yet.
That's how she must have imagined it.
I never understood backgammon.
Backgammon online, I know how to play.
Cordelia was in charge, obviously.
Is this a code?
6 figures. Must be.
Ooh,
Children's books.
fairy tales.
She wrote to Pixie.
I'm telling you, Cordelia knows more than she lets on.
My sweet T, it is with great sorrow. I write this letter with a heavy, troubled heart. The words do not come easily, but nonetheless I must speak. It is time for you to know, understand, to know, to see. I wish you to learn the truth behind the unfortunate disappearance of your father. Know that what happened troubles plagues me greatly, and that I have always, will always regret what I... How does one tell their granddaughter that her father will never come back, and that she needs to stop looking?
Is this?
About the smuggling, yes.
No way. Cordelia was involved?
Shockers.
Her journal.
In the safe? Must have been real private.
23rd. 23rd of October 1820. It's getting colder. I've asked Archibald to light all the fires in the house. Still, I feel the chill in my bones. I think the devil himself would freeze in these bleak times. I want to take Nora back home with me, at least for the winter. This is no place for a newborn. Of course she won't have it. That stubborn girl is convinced this is her home. Can you believe after all Mr. Crown and I have done for her, she thinks this place is better than our home on the mainland. Why, she doesn't know the first thing about living in a Croft house. She is too foolish, that's what. Her head filled with crazy romantic notions of nature walks. I blame Wordsworth and Coleridge. I should never have let her read those silly poems. Granted, I enjoy an adventurous walk myself. Nora and I used to go all the time when we first arrived. But I do not see the need to live out there like a wild woman. I told her I won't have it, that I am her mother, but she will not do as I tell her anymore. And all because of the wicked island boy. Swamp trash? Whoa. We never should have let him work the gardens. Does she think I don't know he's climbing through her window every day? I will not have it anymore. I will not lose my daughter to those rogue islands.
That was definitely Cordelia's den. She confuses me. What she wrote in her journal? She seemed so vulnerable, like she was struggling.
With her conscience. If she ever had one.
Let's...
Riley, stop! Look!
The captain braved the dark waters of the seven seas. Oh, what's that?
That's the baby,
What is she doing in there?
fluttering around like a pixie.
She's putting up a fight, that's what. She's fighting off sea monsters in there.
I don't have sea monsters in there.
Our girl's braving the deep, dark waters.
Pixie is his
You
daughter.
don't know it's a girl.
I do too. Fierce as a tiger, Captain Pixie will sail the seven seas. Swoosh! She'll brave storms, slay sea monsters.
You idiot. Oh no. Mother. Quick. The window.
I'll be back tomorrow.
I'm her father. How?
It can't be true.
I'm the bastard that abandoned them?
It's not true. It can't be. And I'm going to prove it. What did she want with this?
A skull is not going to prove anything.
No, but it's fascinating. Like an exploration of life. Or death.
She wanted nothing more than a home for the three of us. I was building her a house. Linden Breeze on Big Rogue.
Her journal. Let's see what she wrote about you.
October 15th, 1820. Autumn's finally here again. This may be the favorite time of year. This may be my favorite time of year. I can dance for hours in the dirty sweet wind, twirling the brown and red leaves all around me. Mother won't have it, of course. But life on the island is like a dream. So many wondrous things to discover. The endless treasures on the beach. The sight of painted ships making shore. The sun rising from beneath the waves in the early hours of the morning. Things I only knew from my storybooks. This place is so different from the mainland. This place I can truly call home. Speaking of home, our house on the beach is nearly done. Josh really has worked hard and long hours. Pretty soon he won't have to climb through my bedroom window anymore, which will be a relief. I don't know how much longer we can fool Mother. She's rarely fooled by anything, so she must know. I am amazed she's not cast him back out that same window. I'm sure she'd love to. Just a few more weeks, then we can head off and really begin the rest of our lives together. Nora.
That was Nora's. She loved every little thing about the rogues. She'd be out on the beach looking for unusual shells, or rocks in bright colors. I made this. I made this for my daughter.
Oh, okay. Now we go to the boathouse.
Another vision.
What if I don't like what I see?
Another vision.
The rogues are no place for a child. You have to think of her.
I only think of her. And this is where she belongs. The rogues are her home.
Why? Because of that boy.
That boy is my husband.
Enough. I'm your mother, and I say we are going back to the mainland. Beatrice is my grandchild, and she will have a proper education. You will do as I say.
Now, why would I do that?
Beatrice is Pixie.
Beatrice?
Oh my god, that's it! That's why you're still here!
Because of my daughter.
Josh, look!
That's her.
Come on, we need to find her.
I think she went down to the beach. Did you see her? She went down the stairs.
Okay, we're running. No.
Tenth of April, 1943. Sweet little Elfins. I think you girls would enjoy it here. The grand house, the beach, the boats. Scenic does not begin to describe it. Especially today. It's bright and sunny, with the waves glistening like diamonds as they lap against the yellow sand. I am so tired. I feel as if I could sit here forever. Josh has been urging me to leave and to finally see you. He says I've done all I can, and it's time to set sail. He's right. I have done all I can. My strength is fading away, and all I can do is sit here, watching those shiny waves. I think if I close my eyes and lock that image in my head, I can send it to you. Do you see it? Do you see these lonesome islands? Can you see your old father sitting here, thinking of his girls? I hope so. I know I can see you, forever, as long as I close my eyes, your loving father.
Promise me you'll put an end to this. Get me off these islands.
I will. If you promise to let me go.
We have a deal.
Hmm.
There she is.
Do we go to the boathouse first?
What are you doing?
I don't know, Josh. I'm just going through the motions.
It's the wrong motions. I need to tell Beatrice I'm her father.
Okay, fine,
I know
fine,
that.
fine.
I told you as much.
Then go. To my daughter.
Beatrice? We need to talk to you.
You mean you and that ghost of yours?
He's not my ghost, but yes. Remember what you told us on the beach? I know why you keep going round in circles. You can speak now, Josh.
Josh? Your ghost is called Josh?
Pixie.
Oh my god. Dad?
Yes, it is me. I'm your dad.
Was I nothing to you?
No.
You were everything.
Then what did I do to make you leave?
You didn't do anything, honey. I don't know what happened. All I know is I was standing outside, trying to look in and see you, wishing I could be there with you, willing you to see me standing there.
Why couldn't I see you? Not even after I lived. You could have come find me. Why did you give up?
I'd lost my heart, and soon I started to lose my mind, until there was nothing left.
I've been looking for you.
I know.
I couldn't find you.
You have. You have found me.
I don't think I'm ready to say goodbye to you.
Nothing ever really ends. We both know that.
I'll see you soon, Dad.
Oh. Wait.
I don't understand. Why didn't you go with her? We were wrong.
It's not about my daughter.
What?
Do you remember what she said back at White Sand? That her father used to go up to Archie's to talk.
You think that was me?
That was you.
Right. You want to go to Archie's attic? I disagree. We need to get to the Dark Rogue. Find Callum.
But we're here now. It will be a waste not to go look.
The tide is pulling back. We'll be stranded if we don't leave now.
But the attic... I really feel we need to see it.
We have to go now, or it'll be too late.
No, I'm gonna dig around at Archie's. What is this for?
It's an altar. For the fairies. Many believe they protected us when we had to go into the marshes, and that after death we could join them.
Archie.
Is that about me?
What is this? This is ridiculous. Mermaids?
Well, Compton's tomb on the night of the 16th of November, Josh Compton disappeared without a trace, leaving Northground devastated. Sailors confirmed they saw sirens strike Compton beneath the dark waves near Villains Rock, but Constables Wilford and Sprouse suspect he was murdered by the Dark Rogue smugglers gang, or did Compton, as Mrs. Cordelia Crown states, abandon his wife and unborn child for another lover on the mainland?
Oh, what's this?
A shitload of money. Or at least it was back in the day. He drank. A lot.
Where is the attic?
You got your way and got into Archie's.
I got my way? Are you mad at me?
Maybe. And now it's time to get to the Dark Rogue, my dear.
I hate to admit it, but I feel a bit disappointed. I expected to find more. No, my boat!
I hate to say I told you so.
But you're doing it anyway. Now what do we do?
We'll have to go across the causeway.
On foot?
On foot.
How? Where?
Calm down. Go back to the beach. Find the lighthouse.
Okay. Walk faster.
See that lighthouse?
Yep.
Is there a path?
Yes. Stay close. So, let's talk about what we found at Archie's.
No, it's open.
Archie. He seemed unhappy.
He was miserable. I wanted to help him, but I didn't know how.
Hey, it's not your fault.
Haven't walked here in ages. It's beautiful in its own way.
Feels eerie, if you ask me. Did you use this causeway often?
Everybody did.
Why?
To go sell our homemade whiskey at the Black Bell.
What's the Black Bell?
You'll see.
How far is it?
Far. You should have listened to me.
It's
I'm allowed to do things my own way.
true.
So ghostly out here. What happens when the waves come back?
They take back what they feel is theirs.
Many died?
If you get out on the flats and get sucked in the mud,
There's no hope.
Oh.
and there it is.
The Dark Rogue.
And the Black Bell.
Sounds like you've just come home.
My brother brought me often. It was warm. Free food on the table.
Hang on. Your brother?
Yeah. Callum was my brother.
Why didn't you say so?
I'm sorry, we had a treehouse where we'd sleep.
We have to find this treehouse.
Treehouse, okay.
Archie, please. I have to know.
You shouldn't be here, Miss Nora.
Please, I can't live like this. You have to tell me the truth.
Nora, you're making a scene.
Look at her. He wouldn't leave. Not his daughter. Not me. My mother. Constable Sprouse. They're wrong. He wouldn't. You know he wouldn't.
Hush now. Josh left. He left for the mainland, and that's that.
How could you say that? You're his brother. You know him better than anyone.
He's gone, Nora. Josh is gone.
Then bring me to him. Let him see her. At least let him see his daughter.
I'm sorry, Nora. He made his choice.
He's gone then. He's really gone.
He's really gone.
Your papa's gone, baby girl.
Miss Nora, I'm so sorry.
Oh crap. Oh no.
You did. You actually did leave them.
No,
What did you do?
I didn't do anything.
What do you want from me? I can't trust you, can I?
You're going to have to, because there's nobody else here.
So, Diary, I need to tell you something.
Oh,
Just shut up! I don't have anything left to say to you. I'm talking to my diary now. No, there's no excuses. You left your child. You left her! Before she was born, you took off. You never saw her. That is the worst. I never liked you, but now I can't stand you. I want to punch you so badly. Leave! Get out! Stop talking to me!
Margot understood the kind of man you were.
Right then. I'll leave you to it.
These again. And there's so many.
This here's the source. Many came to get their bottles right here. If they didn't distill any whiskey themselves, that is.
Pistol.
Have you ever used one of these?
I never fired one, if that's what you mean.
Oh, we can go up.
Oh, this brings back memories.
I'm not sure I care anymore.
What?
Dice game. Now what? Can't go up. Oh, treehouse.
I don't know you anymore. Why was she not enough?
What we just saw? I don't think that's what happened.
That's bull. Every vision has been true so far.
I didn't leave Nora. What if they were wrong?
What if you're wrong?
"21st of December 1944. My dear little Elphins, my sweet daughters. My thoughts are with you all the time. War was hard, but leaving you was harder. I thought I could return, but it turns out I'm too much of a coward. I can never say sorry enough. If only you could forgive me. I'm weaker than I've been. The days drift, and I can no longer help Josh. I failed. My one act of redemption, and I could not even do that. What will happen to the boy when I'm gone? I hate the idea of him here alone. You girls have family and loved ones. Josh was only me. I love all of you. I can't ever say that enough. You are the light and the joy of my life. And I'm so proud of you. So proud to be your father. Your loving father.
I feel for him. Never thought I'd say it, but I do. I wish he had sent these letters, though. His girls never knew he cared. You make me feel like a fool.
I understand that, Riley. But you need to know, I don't think I left my wife or my child. I'd remember if I did.
Was he
Didn't
killed?
remember Nora, you said.
Could have been killed, murdered.
Again?
What?
I said, get out! Get out!
Please, Margot, wait.
Over and over in my head.
Don't go in there.
You're always there.
Let's go back. I can stop. I can be quiet as a mouse.
I'm never alone. Never, ever, not for one goddamn minute.
Oh, Margot, I can't. I wish I could.
Shut up! Shut the fuck up! I just need to be alone for one.
Margot?
Oh.
Josh?
Oh.
Josh, I can't move. I can't get out. Josh?
You have to calm down, okay? Just breathe. Breathe, Margot.
I'm stuck and... Help me! Josh! Help me! Please, I can't move!
Quicksand.
Margot. Somebody, help!
I can't move! Why? I'm scared. Don't leave me. Okay? Don't leave. Okay, Josh?
I'm right here.
Uh-oh.
Always right here.
Uh-oh.
No! Did she die? Josh!
I don't...
Did she die, Josh?
Yes.
Oh my god.
I couldn't get her out.
You killed her.
I tried to help her.
She died because of you. I need to get away from you. She was right. This isn't natural. Did she hang these?
Yes. To keep away ghosts.
You're the ghost.
Well, that didn't work. Also to keep away ghosts.
They're wind chimes. She needed that soft tinkling of the shells when things got too much to bear.
Oh my goodness. That I want. To sit there, away from it all, and stare at the sea.
That's exactly what she did. And I would leave her be whenever she came here.
Why don't you do that for me?
I don't know. I feel we're too close.
You are too close.
So, diary. I think I'm done talking to you. Running out of tapes. And batteries. And there's always the waves to talk to. I love the quiet here. The peace without Josh. I don't know what to do about him. I can't help him. And he's always there. I find myself spending more and more time here. Too bad the tides won't allow me to set up camp here. I've been thinking, I want to go back. Home. I'm not sure how. I could row one of those boats, I guess. How the hell am I going to get off these islands? I didn't think this through, did I?
Hope you did not.
What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. You gave me Seabrook, remember? You have to go. Get out! Get out! Bloody hell, John!
Oh,
Get
that's
the
when...
fuck out of my head!
This is when she died.
Why didn't you?
Yeah.
Don't put the blame on me again.
Why didn't you leave? She was suffering because of you.
Selfish Josh.
Little evening falls, the moon lights up the sky. Winter's breath and fairy dust hold this love of mine. Rest in my arms and I'll keep you warm, keeping the wolves at bay. I'll stay by your side, hush little child, till night turns into day. Till night turns into day.
Nice.
I never meant for her. I wanted a different ending.
Cannot take it back.
The campfire. We'd sit here every night, singing songs or eating canned beans.
Carrie's jars.
I almost had to force her to go back for those. Margot, that is. She'd sooner die than set foot in that cabin again. She liked sleeping outside.
Another adventurer.
No, she was a runaway. Always trying to get away.
From you.
That's her early work. She got a lot better after.
After what? You? I doubt that. you get this thing here?
Very.
Not many roads to drive on here.
Yeah, that's why she parked it here. And she ran out of gas. Lara Crimson. She wanted to be like that singer so much.
Thinking fame would validate her?
But her music, Riley. You should have heard her play. It always got under my skin.
It was her skin, never yours.
Dear Margot, I was so pleased to hear you like my music. I'd be nowhere without my fans. I don't usually write them personal letters, but I was moved by yours and thought I would respond. My music inspiration comes from my emotions. It sounds like you are going through something profound. Music has been my saving grace, and it can be yours too. Keep writing. It's not about being great. It's about trusting yourself and listening to that inner voice. I wish you the best of luck with life and your music. I'll be performing at the Arden on October 19. Hope to see you there. Bon chance. Lara Crimson.
The tape recorder. She liked talking to that thing more
Than talking to you.
I loved to hear her play. And sing. It was the only time she was truly at peace.
You should have shut up then and let her play.
Her song can last forever.
Did she really go to all of these concerts? This one made history. She was there. Pretty awesome.
Music was her life.
Oh, one more?
She's so beautiful.
Wish she was here to hear you say that. She never believed it herself.
Her 5 minutes of fame. What was she looking for?
Sense. She was looking to make sense for life. That's what she said.
Rocket Magazine. December 12, 1975. Go to any concert these days and you'll see a group of barely clad girls writhing in front of the stage. To describe the girls as merely groupies would be a disservice. They've dedicated their lives to their favorite bands, following them from state to state. We're definitely the inspiration. I mean, sure, they like to get laid, but so do we. I mean, it's not all about sex. We are part of that creative energy, you know? And that's just totally rad, man. Totally. That's what it's all about. Says groupie Margot Green, who has been traveling with the band Breathing Fire for the past 6 months. The band is just as appreciative of their super fans. They're so free, so at ease with themselves, says drummer Jay Elgar. It's so cool how they can totally get our music, like really get it. Sure.
She was lost.
And you knew it. And still you didn't leave her alone.
Don't you think I wanted to? I've tried.
Don't spin me that story about being stuck here.
It is the truth. The only truth.
I need answers. Clarity. We'll find it at the treehouse.
Devil's Ridge.
We've got to. Can't do this anymore.
You can, Riley.
I don't know you. I may have imagined that I did, but I don't really.
You know me better than anyone.
I am talking to myself. I've lost my mind.
You're not crazy, Riley.
There! The treehouse!
Yes, that's it. It's still there. Our safe place.
Callum knew more about where you went. Let's hope he left us some clues.
This is us. We carved our names ourselves.
How
Still
do
here. After all this time.
we get up?
Callum,
Mom?
this feels ridiculous. Meeting in the middle of the night behind a child's playhouse.
Would you rather we meet in the open?
No, of course not. Do we have an agreement?
He's accepted the terms.
All of them?
Josh and I are packed. He's leaving tonight, off to the mainland.
The brother!
Neither my daughter nor anyone else on the island will hear from him again?
Once he's gone for good.
I'm just looking out for her. I wish him no harm. You can tell him that. Good. This is good.
You left them. You took the money.
Riley!
You took her money. How could you?
I don't know.
Shut up.
Oh wait, that's him.
You promised you'd take care of us. We'd be together forever.
What?
We're going to
Oh.
raise our children in our home. You promised
Oh no,
me.
she's possessed.
You said you loved me.
Oh
I
no.
know you did.
What are you saying? It's you. All this time. It's been you. You are Nora.
You know, I love you.
I'm not sure why, but
You make me so happy.
You left me.
I didn't. I swear. I could never.
I know that you'd have to give up everything.
Josh, I'm not.
But I want you. I want to be with you. I want to build you a home. Right here. We could raise a family. You and I.
What?
I'm asking you to marry me, Nora. To stay. Here. With me.
Yes. I want to be here with you.
We'll be together forever.
Riley. Riley.
Leave me, Josh.
Listen.
Go away. I don't want you here.
you here.
Go.
I can't believe we're married.
It's the house.
You're stuck with me now.
I will not go away. And I never did. I didn't go anywhere.
Then where were you? Because you weren't here.
I looked for you.
Everywhere.
What is that voice?
For so long. Thinking you'd come back to us.
It's okay. Shh. Hush now. He'll be here soon. I don't care what they say. Don't cry, my love. Daddy will come home.
It's a scam.
I was right here. I've always been right here.
You lie!
We go inside.
Josh? Where did you go?
I fear you have to face reality, Mrs. Compton. He's not on the island anymore. Maybe it's best to forget him, Miss Nora.
He's gone. He left you and your child.
Please come back to me.
It's all lies. No
Where are we
more.
going?
I just want to go home.
You are home.
What? Love. Okay. Right. Winter. Fairy. Wait, how do we... Moon.
The moon lights up the sky.
Oh wait, I have to click everything. I think.
And fairy dust.
Winter's breath.
Hold this love of mine.
I remember now, Riley. All of it.
What?
Then tell me what happened, so I can make sense of all this.
I can only show you.
How?
Let me take you to where it all happened.
Oh.
Give me control.
Control
Sus.
over me? Have you lost your mind?
It's the only way.
To do what?
To make you see. To set us both free.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
God, who can argue with that? All right, get it over with.
Okay, fine.
I'm not sure I like this. I've lost control completely.
I know. I'm sorry.
I think I'm going to be sick.
Surrender, Riley, and you'll be fine.
Oh, you think it's beautiful you building that house?
Linden Breeze. That's what we named it.
3 beers, right over there, for my brother and my buddy. This is it, brother. We're getting out of here.
I'm not going.
What?
I've told you before. I'm not leaving Nora.
Tell me you're joking. You choose filthy rich vermin over me?
Don't talk about my wife like that.
I'm your brother.
You are my brother, and I love you. But you can't ask me to betray Nora.
Calm down, lads. Here's your beers.
Don't shush me. You've no
Where is the brother?
It's gonna be fine. We'll come find you later. I'm grateful that I have you in my life. I wouldn't be here without you.
Damn right. And that's how you repay me.
I'm going to be a father. Isn't that a miracle? A good father. And I want my little girl to have an Uncle Callum. We can do so much better.
Not yet. It isn't the time yet.
We can do better than Dad.
We can do better on the mainland. With this money in our pockets. There's no future here.
You're wrong. The future's here. Only here.
There's nothing but mud here!
He's your family. You belong together.
That's in his hands now.
He's your brother.
You loved me.
I did. Of course I did.
Then where did you go?
Am I not good enough anymore?
I can't talk to you when you're like this. All fired up like that.
You found your way into money. Is that it? You don't need me?
You know that's not true.
Please, lads. We can put this straight.
These islands are gonna break us. And there's only one road out of here.
I will never take it. I will never leave.
You hit me.
You're no better than Dad.
Callum hit you.
I shouldn't have said that.
No, he hurt you.
It doesn't matter. Focus now. This is what they never told you.
What did...
You have to stop! Now! You're my little brother. I am! But you have to stop. This money will save us. It won't. It won't change a thing. I'm not going. You can't take this from me. I'm not leaving. You are going to leave with me. No!
Josh?
You will do as I say.
Boom.
I am the oldest.
Josh!
I won't leave Nora ever.
You have to let me go.
You need to see this.
What?
You have to listen to me.
No! You have to see this, Riley.
He's getting us killed.
It hurts.
Almost there. Just a wee bit longer.
I can't breathe.
Soon. Just watch this.
I can't breathe, Josh.
I need you to understand.
Understand what? Dude, that guy is just standing there, man.
You're not gonna die. I'm the one.
God.
Riley?
dead.
Riley?
Josh killed us.
No, stop! No! Come on! Riley? No! Come back!
We're a ghost.
Is this real? Did I died. I'm a ghost. Josh?
I can't move. Oh, no, I can move.
I'm so sorry.
You did
I
this.
never meant for this to happen. I'm so sorry.
Stop it. I found you. I'm Nora. I've always been Nora.
That's so weird. How?
And I'm here.
You're here. With me.
I'm the one that's sorry. I should have seen. I should have known.
Come. Come with me.
Always.
Oh, we're walking. I'm sorry.
Tell me your secrets and I'll tell you mine. Let us then weaken by making light. The deeper we keep it, the more it blinds. So let's hang 'em out to dry.
Short game. Reminds me of Edith Finch.
On the horizon, our story unfolds. Watching us fall from the arms of a willow. In the motionless tide gone roll. Cautiously disrupting the flow. Do you remember? Do you remember? it.